What makes a monster immortal? Is it the raw power, the fiery breath, or the sheer scale of its destruction? For Godzilla, it's none of those things alone. It's the story woven into his very scales, the way he has transformed alongside our deepest fears and greatest hopes for over 70 years. This isn't just a list of movies. It's a journey through history, a tale of how a monster became a myth. Part 1. The Ghost of the Bomb, 1954. The Showa era. Imagine the world in 1954. Japan is still reeling from the scars of World War II. The shadow of nuclear devastation hangs heavy in the air. Then, a new fear rises from the ocean. The first, Godzilla wasn't a hero. He was a nightmare made of trauma. A hulking, terrifying creature. His scarred skin and blank stare were a direct allegory for the atomic bomb. His roar wasn't just a sound. It was the chilling echo of a nation's pain. A warning from a world consumed by its own hubris. This Godzilla was a force of nature, an unstoppable, malevolent spirit of vengeance. He existed to remind humanity of the terrible price of its own power. For nearly a decade, Godzilla was pure terror. But as time went on, the wounds of war began to heal, and Japan's culture shifted. So, too, did its monster. Part 2. The king of the monsters, 1960s, 1970s. Suddenly, Godzilla wasn't the only giant on the screen. He faced off against Mothra, King Ghidorah, and even King Kong. As more monsters appeared, Godzilla's role began to change. The terrifying embodiment of nuclear war had to become something else to fight them. He transformed from an evil villain into an anti-hero, a reluctant defender of Earth. His movements became more human. His battles more like wrestling mechas than acts of pure destruction. This was the era of the Godzilla stomp, the dropkick, and the victory dance. He was no longer just a metaphor for fear. He was a national icon, a symbol of strength and protection against other, more malevolent threats. The world needed a hero, and from the ashes of destruction, Godzilla was ready to answer the call. Part 3. The Nuclear Rebirth, 1980s, 1990s. By the 1980s, the Cold War brought new anxieties about nuclear weapons. Godzilla, in turn, returned to his roots. The new films were darker, more serious. This Heisei-era Godzilla was bigger, meaner, and far more powerful than ever before. His atomic breath was no longer just a visual effect. It was a devastating force of pure energy. He was a force of nature, but a more complex one. He wasn't a hero, but he wasn't completely evil either. He was the ultimate consequence of humanity's actions, a force that couldn't be reasoned with or controlled. His most epic battles weren't just about winning. They were cosmic clashes with monsters like a creature literally born from the very weapon that killed the first Godzilla. This was a monster who understood that history repeats itself, and that humanity was doomed to make the same mistakes. Part 4. The Modern Titan, 2010s. Present today. We live in an age of ecological and technological anxiety. Godzilla has once again evolved to face these new fears. In the Monsterverse, he is an ancient alpha predator, a living embodiment of the planet's natural balance. He is the guardian who rises from the deep when humanity or other titans threaten the world disorder. He is neither good nor evil. He is simply a cosmic force that exists to restore equilibrium. And in Shin Godzilla and Godzilla -1, he returns to his purest, most terrifying form. He is once again a metaphor for our deepest modern fears. Bureaucratic failure, political paralysis, and the terrifying, uncontrollable force of a new, post-Fukushima era. This Godzilla is horrifying because he is constantly evolving, an unstoppable biological weapon that defies logic and reason. So, who is Godzilla? He is what we need him to be. A ghost of the past, a hero of the present, a warning for the future. He's more than a monster. He's a mirror reflecting our fears and our power back at us, reminding us that no matter what, the king will always rise.